Welcome back to Joe Stunner Boxing. Adam Azim turns his record to 13 wins with 10 KOs, no draws, no defeats. He's 22 years old from Berkshire in the UK. He turns his record to 13-0, courtesy of a win over Sergey Lipinets of Kazakhstan, who slips to 18-4-1. Lipinets, 35 years old, so 13 years older than Azim. And this was a terrible beating that Lipinets took, a real terrible beating. He is a former IBF super lightweight champ, Lipinets, but those years are long, long gone. He held that title very, very briefly before he lost it to, was it Danny Garcia, I think, in his first defence. He's also fought Jaron Ennis. That was his only previous stoppage defeat. He got stopped in 6. Lost to Michael Rivera. That was back in 2023. That was over 10. And this was last chance saloon, really. He looked a weight division smaller, at least one weight division smaller, and he got battered. He absolutely got battered. Like I say, he's 35 years old. He's about 5'7". And Adam Azim is three inches taller, but look, he might as well have been a foot taller, to be honest with you. Azim was he just had his way with him, just did whatever he wanted to. Because Lipinets came out early with a very, very high guard, moving forwards, looking to get close to Azim. Azim just boxed, was landing all the punches, some nice body punches in there. Very, very successful with the right uppercut. In fact, he actually increased the output on the right uppercut because he was having so much success. He must have gone sort of right uppercut happy. And it paid absolute dividends as well, because Lipinets gradually was being ground down. And at least while Azim was sort of standing off and boxing, Lipinets wasn't taking maximum punishment, even though he just couldn't land a glove on Azim. In the third round, he really rushed forward, almost skipped forward and chased Azim along the ropes. And then once they got to the adjacent ropes, in fact, Lipinets did land one, it was a left hook, and then got clocked with a left hook as he was almost in mid-flight. He was running after him, and he got countered with a left hook from Azim and went down on his back and got up. And he did look quite a fair bit more shaken than you would have thought, because maybe moved into the punch, moved into the counter, and it hurt him more than it looked. But when he got up, Azim was all over him. And from then on, Azim sort of... the fourth round, Azim had a point taken off for consistent low blows. But certainly from the fifth round onwards, Azim was quite happy to fight Lipinets, getting close, fight small. Like I say, the right uppercut, I lost count of the amount of right uppercuts that landed flush on Lipinets. And Lipinets was getting busted up. Blood coming out of his nose, his mouth, his abrasions all over his face. He was beginning to look a real mess. And then I think it was the seventh round, Azim had a second point taken off for low blows. So, these sort of punches, these low punches, you're getting points taken off, but they're going to be sapping the energy of the opponent anyway. It's almost like it's worth having a couple of points taken off. But, one-way traffic all along. I don't think I gave Lipinets a round other than the points taken off. They were the only points that Azim lost. And Azim, up close and personal, swapping punches, looked physically stronger. It really looked like an old man in there with a much younger man, never mind a much bigger man in with a much smaller man. But the 13 years senior Lipinets was just getting ground up, chewed up, beaten up. Whatever Azim was firing was catching Lipinets and bringing him a stage closer to being stopped. Whatever punches Lipinets was sort of half landing weren't having any effect on Azim. And finally, the sort of roof caved in the ninth round when, again, I think it was uppercuts. And Lipinets seemed to sort of sag back, almost like all the energy had just been drained out of him. He sort of shook and sort of swayed like a reed in the wind. And the referee, quite rightly, good bit of refereeing actually from Steve Gray, he jumped straight in and stopped the fight before Lipinets hit the floor. But I remember thinking, like, from about the 7th or 8th round, like, this is too much punishment being taken. I was hoping the Lipinets corner might pull him out, but they didn't. So well done to Steve Gray for stopping it. I mean, Azim gets a lot of heat because he gave up his EBU title, which he won very young and defended as well, because he didn't want to fight Dalton Smith. And yeah, he ducked him. He did duck him. But here's the thing. Dalton Smith is older than Adam Azim, and he's probably a lot closer to his peak than Azim is. Now, whereas you can argue, well, Azim shouldn't have been fast-tracked to the EBU title if he wasn't prepared to defend it against Smith, because if you win a title and you call yourself a champ, you've got to defend it. At least he gave it up. You know, he said, okay, no, time's not right. Or perhaps I should say that Shane McGuigan, who's his trainer, he was the one who probably on the quiet said, look, give up the EBU title, you're not ready. Wait until you've got your man strength, wait until you're reaching your peak, and then we'll go after Dalton Smith. And if Azim further down the line, again, he's still only 22, if he does fight Dalton Smith in, say, 3 years' time or whatever, and beats him, no one's going to remember the fact that he gave up the EBU title. Because timing is everything in boxing, or not everything, but it's a major part of boxing. And I'm all for up-and-comers facing each other. I don't mind. Don't get me wrong. If I'd had my way, Adam Azim and Dalton Smith would have already met, because I don't care whether someone loses their unbeaten record. Unbeaten records don't mean anything to me. But, you know, I can see where McGuigan and Azim's team are coming from. They're going to get him up to a point where they feel that he's really ready to fight Dalton Smith or any other fighter, world-class fighter. And they're going to say, okay, now we'll go for it. So I wouldn't rule that fight out in the future. As for Sergey Lipinets, this must have finished his career, surely, this beating. Horrendous beating. And he is 35, so call it a day now, mate. Come on, you've been a champ. And this was his 4th defeat, twice stopped, 18 wins with 13 KO victories. So in terms of statistics, I mean, 23 fights, he's got a draw as well. 23 fights is not a lot. But he's faced some good men, hasn't he? Weirdly enough, he was coming off a very good win over Robbie Davies Jr. That was his only fight last year. I watched that fight. It was entertaining. He had Davies Jr. on the floor, I think, 3 times. And it went the distance. But, yeah, and he beat Omar Figueroa back in 2022. But inactivity, I think, has worked against Sergey Lipinets. And now he's probably at the age where he's a bit too old. But this will have put years on him. Bad defeat. Anyway, what did you think of this fight? Let me know about Adam Azim. How good do you think he is? What would you do with him next? Because he's been EBU champ. I think another couple of 10 rounds. He's got this IBO belt, which, no, I don't give a fuck about that. But, you know, it means that he fights 12 rounders, not 10 rounders. And I don't have a problem with that. I really don't have a problem with that at all. I think if it gets him some couple of 12 rounders against top 12 fighters, that, you know, again, by the time he hits 25, if he's got several 12 rounders under his belt against good people, good, you know, top 10, top 12, top 15 super lightweights, then yeah, why not? Why not let him go for it, you know? But anyway, let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about this guy, because I think the kid's got some ability. I like him a lot. I do like him. And tell me what you think. And who you think he should fight next. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching the video. If you liked it, please hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel if you're new. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch up with you later. Bye for now.